Hello, graduates, families, friends, faculty, staff, and administration. Welcome to New England College's second annual Nurse Pinning Ceremony. We are so grateful to share this special experience with you. We should also take a moment to recognize the families, friends, and loved ones whose support, sacrifice, and encouragement have helped make this achievement possible. The Nurse Pinning Ceremony is a significant milestone in the journey to becoming a nurse. The history of the ceremony dates back to the Crusades in the 12th century, and later when Queen Victoria awarded Florence Nightingale the Royal Red Cross for her service as a military nurse during the Crimean War. By 1916, pinning ceremonies had become an established tradition in both the United Kingdom and the United States. This ceremony symbolizes the strength and commitment required along the educational path to becoming a nurse, qualities our graduates have each displayed and demonstrated with ease and grace. Each of you has faced challenges, moments of doubt, and long days of hard work, yet you stand here today ready to enter one of the most trusted and respected professions. More importantly, this moment represents the transition from graduate nursing student to professional nurse, and the beginning of a profound responsibility to provide compassionate, safe, and evidence-based care to those entrusted to you. The NEC Nursing faculty are proud to welcome you into the nursing profession. It is now my distinct honor and privilege to introduce Dr. Patricia Corbett, Vice President of Academic Affairs and Acting Dean of the Nursing and Health Professions Division here at NEC. Dr. Corbett has been instrumental in the success of our work.
Thank you. Good evening. I fear if I stand here, no one will see me, so I'm going to try shouting it, and we'll see what happens. So good evening. As Vice President of Academic Affairs, it's an honor and privilege to stand before you. This is a meaningful moment. A nursing pinning ceremony, I've learned a lot about nursing. I'm an ed person, by the way, so I was an ed major. Teacher ed is my thing. As you heard, I'm kind of an honorary nurse right now, so I do take pride in that. Commencement marks the completion of your academic journey. But the pinning is really symbolic, and I learned a lot about that a year ago. It really has a deep meaning for you, and I learned that. I was sitting last year at the pinning ceremony. I leaned over to our partners at Concord. I'm like, is this pinning thing a big deal? And they're like, yes, it's a very big deal. So your pin represents it's your real journey, it's your story. It really symbolizes everything that you've worked on as a nurse and what it really means to you to be a nurse. So I want you to reflect on that for a few minutes with me and think about your journey that got you here today. So let's think about that journey. So here we go. Who stayed up far too many late nights getting on this journey? I actually stayed up far too many late nights with you on this journey too. Who drank way too much coffee for this journey? Any Red Bull fans here? Any other drinks here? All right. Who gave up eating healthy and went to a little too much junk food? Yeah, I did that too with some of you. Okay. Who had some moments that they thought they were going to give up? And you didn't give up, right? So thanks for hanging in there with us. How many times did you think you were going to give up? For a few. All right, but you made it. Who was a positive role model for their kids? You made it here, right? So those long nights of studying, you made it here. I didn't see any hands go up, by the way, so that kind of bummed me out. Who was a positive role model for their kids because you made it here tonight? Who in the audience is a proud spouse, parent, sibling, friend, or mentor? All right, that was a little dull, but we'll continue on with my talk. I want you to think for a moment, students, how proud you are of yourself, because this is really a big moment. So you're about to get your pin. You're going to wear it with pride. You are truly amazing. I want to leave you with a little story. We've been having a little fun, But you think about the roles in a hospital, and you spend some time in a hospital. The nursing faculty know I really hate germs, and I've been touring your hospitals. You might see me in there. I walk like this. I don't touch anything. I have to go to the hospital a lot. My mom's been ill, and I literally stand there, and she's like, sit down, Patty. I'm like, I'm not sitting. You know, I just kind of stand there, and they joke. You know, everyone jokes with me. I'm like, you wouldn't believe what I learned to do last night, you know. And when I'm sitting there with her waiting, the one person I want to see walk in the door is the nurse, right? The one person I want to see. Please, no doctors here, right? Because the one person I want to see is the nurse. I know as soon as the nurse walks in, our questions will be answered. We'll feel better. It might not be the best outcome, but we'll feel better, right? As soon as the nurse walks in. The sense of relief enters the room with that nurse. So remember that. Remember that when you put on the pin. Remember that when you walk into the room. That family that's waiting for you, that patient, you are the most important person in the room when you walk into them. So when you put on that pin, wear it with pride, remember what you've done to get here, and remember you mean so much to that family and that patient. So thank you. Thank you for giving up healthy eating. Thank you for all the coffee. Thank you for the hard nights, and thank you for what you've done. I do want to give a final thank you to the fabulous faculty sitting here in the front row, and I'd like you to do that with me. We have Christy Jadlocki with us. I think she kept us all out of trouble this year. And we know you all passed your exams because of Terry Henning, let's face it. So, congratulations on this remarkable, remarkable accomplishment. Thank you for how much I've grown. I appreciate what you've done for me. Some of you kind of gave me a hard time every now and then, but I do appreciate that. You helped me to grow. Wear your pen with pride. It'll be really exciting for me to give you your diploma on Saturday. I'm looking forward to that. And I am very proud of what you've done. So isn't New England College. And on behalf of President Lesperance, he is proud of you too. I welcome Terry Henning to the stage. Well, I'm not on it. Thanks.
Hi, everybody. Good evening and welcome. You're going to hear a lot of similar things. In about 40 hours, we'll all be gathered together again to celebrate your commencement. You will begin that day as New England College students and end as alumni. That moment will signify that you have completed the rigorous experience that is nursing school. Sure, there's that little test called NCLEX after that, but that's a future you worry. Tonight, we're going to be in the moment and focus on what this ceremony means. Tonight, as you receive your pin, you join the community of nurses. Tonight, we celebrate you and this noble profession. Before we get to celebrating you, however, I do want to draw attention to all those whose support has buoyed you during low moments, whose calm has steadied your nerves, and whose belief in you has quieted your doubts. So, welcome to the interactive portion of this speech. First, would all the parents, grandparents, and guardians in attendance please stand and remain standing? Okay. Stay standing, everybody. Would all the partners, spouses, children, siblings, and family members please stand? Okay. Would all the employers, mentors, colleagues, and friends please stand? Okay, seniors, take a look around. These folks have been your village. And as we all know, it truly does take a village. On behalf of all of us here at NEC, we thank you for all you've done along the way to support these outstanding students on their journeys to becoming BSN RNs. You can sit now. Now, no celebration or recognition would be possible if I did not draw attention to the incredible nursing faculty and staff here tonight. I've sat in your classes, emailed with you hundreds of times by now, and learned so much from each of you. You have been true partners in this journey, and we all stand here, myself included, in large part because of you. Please stand, and thank you for all you do. Christy, stand up. Students, while tonight is indeed about you, I draw attention to so many others because at the end of the day, I believe deeply that relationships matter and that they are at the heart of what we do. Those of us who pursue the professions of nursing and education do so to help and care for others and to make a difference. We live our lives in service to others. So much of what we will do will be behind the scenes, under the radar, and outside of the spotlight. But trust that what you will do matters, perhaps more than you might even imagine. You will be with people during some of their most vulnerable moments, some during their most frightening, others during their lowest, and some their loneliest. That is an honor and a privilege. So, I'd like for us to think back to August 2023. Okay? That's when you and I both started here at NEC. Some of you, like myself, were transitioning careers and starting something new here. Some of you were right out of high school and looking forward to college. Many of you had been in the healthcare field for years already. That August, our paths, however different they might have been, led us here to Henniker. That August, I started in my role as a professional tutor in the Writing and Academic Success Center. I remember applying for the position and noting that the posting included something along the lines of math and science preferred. In my interview, I said that I'd spent most of my career as a high school English teacher and that my degrees were in English teaching, secondary ed, and ed leadership. I had taught and worked with college students, but most of them were studying to be teachers. If the center was looking for someone to primarily support math and science, I was probably not the best fit. Looking back, if you had told me I'd end up 3 years later supporting mainly nursing students, I would have laughed. If you told me I'd be doing med math as a stress reliever, I kid you not, I would have laughed even harder. And being asked to speak to all of you tonight was never in my wildest dreams. But sometimes you take a chance and trust that things will work out just the way they should. But going back to that August, if you were anything like me, you weren't quite sure what to expect. I remember the first day of classes when a nursing student came to the center looking for a tutor. I told her I wasn't a nurse, something I've repeated often these last few years, but that I'd be happy to take her on and do my best to learn the material to be able to support her. What I didn't know then was that one student, and all the ones who followed, changed my life. But back then, I had no idea what I was getting myself into. Sound familiar? At that point, I wasn't in your Blackboard shells, I didn't have access to Pearson or ATI, and I was definitely stumbling my way through and hoping I wasn't causing harm. I hadn't taken an A&P course since my junior year in high school. I was constantly looking up concepts or how to pronounce certain terms or med names. And I have to admit, my search history has been quite interesting these past few years. Like a lot of you, I'm sure, I was a bit overwhelmed with how much there was to learn and how much I didn't know. Yet, like you, I was committed to learning as much as I could, as efficiently as I could, all the while battling a little bit of imposter syndrome. That first semester was exhausting, humbling, inspiring, and exhilarating, and usually all of those at once. That first semester seems forever ago, and like yesterday. So second semester, I promise I won't go semester by semester. Second semester, I sat in on PN2 with so many of you. Oh my gosh, I tried to scribble down every single word out of Trisha's mouth. And you saw me. I was like, okay. Each class, I was blown away with information and so impressed with all of you. One day after class, I asked Trish how so many of you seemed to know so much. Was it because they were already LNAs, I asked? She looked at me and said, no, they did the reading. Note to self, remind students they needed to do the reading before class. both Pearson and ATI. And of course, she was right. In preparation for this speech, I looked back at those notes and all the notes I had made in the margin. Words or concepts I wasn't yet familiar with, like hypovolemia, malignant hyperthermia, stridor, alkalosis, acidosis. Abbreviations like ABGs, MAP, ICP. I also wrote down fun facts, such as white potatoes are full of potassium. And Trish, this is my personal favorite, the skull flap can be put in the belly to preserve vascularity. I wrote that and I wrote, whoa. This week, I've sat with you in your ATI live review sessions, and just like I did a few years ago, I scribbled furiously, filling page after page. I counted to this morning, 19 pages front and back of notes. They are available for anybody. And again, I was blown away listening to you all answer questions, not just as students, but as nurses. So take a minute and look around. You are all sitting here because you made it. And I know it hasn't always been easy. But when things got tough, you got tougher. Semester by semester, you weathered the storms of nursing school. There were times you fell and picked yourself back up, times you broke and put yourself back together, times you perhaps questioned your life choices, but then remembered your why, times you asked for help, times you pushed through, times when you had to make sacrifices in order to read or study or go to clinicals, and you made them. Times you sacrificed your sleep, self-care, perhaps even real food, all in the name of nursing school. And now here you are, just hours away from your diplomas and weeks away from NCLEX. When I was a teenager, there was a book that was incredibly popular titled, All I Really Need to Know I Learned in Kindergarten. The author was certainly onto something. After all, be kind to others, share, and wash your hands are in fact pretty valuable life lessons. As I was thinking about preparing this speech, that book popped into my head, and I kept going back to the idea of lessons. Makes sense, right? As a former teacher, I'd be focused on lessons. What I ended up jotting down was a list of lessons I've learned these past 3 years working with so many of you. Here are just a few in no particular order. Number 1, the nursing process applies not only to nursing, but to life. So often, especially when I was younger, I wanted to jump into the problem or into making the plans before I took the time to assess. Over the years, I've learned to slow down and to ask the questions first, to get a sense of what's happening. Only then am I able to make the plans, implement, and evaluate them. I've learned to follow and trust the process. Number 2, priorities matter, and it takes time and experience to know which priorities matter. Least restrictive, least invasive, safety and risk reduction, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, airway, breathing, circulation. We've been focused on the ABCs since we were kids. Now the ABCs, although a different set, are a pretty good reminder of where to begin. Number 3, details matter. That leading 0, but not a trailing 0, matters. The right spelling or pronunciation of a med, it matters. The ins and outs of APA format, I promised you it matters to a few of us in this room. There's a reason your faculty holds you to such high standards. They're preparing you for a world and a career with a very slim margin of error. I can make a mistake one day, and I have other days, weeks, and months to make it right. You don't have that luxury. The small things are often the big things, and not everything gets a second chance. Number 4, slowing down isn't just a test-taking strategy, it's a life strategy. If you've worked with me, you've probably had me tell you to slow down. And maybe I've added an extra word or two as well. But yeah, slow down. There are moments that will call for urgency, of course, but most of the time, you and your nervous system will benefit from a pause, a long breath, and a reset. Slow down and give yourself a chance to think clearly, and then act. Number 5, sometimes select all that apply feels like a cruel joke, but it's also oddly relevant to life. What is the priority? Select all that apply. What's most concerning? Select all that apply. Which of the following should you expect? Select all that apply. Sometimes the answers aren't clear, and sometimes there isn't just one answer. Sometimes every choice seems right, or none of them seem right. Sometimes you really do need to consider all the options and select all that apply. Those types of questions are a great metaphor, right? You're going to be bombarded with choices, and sometimes you'll get them all correct, and sometimes you won't. And that too is true in life. And finally, it's okay to not know everything, as long as you remain curious and open to learning. This one might just be the biggest lesson I've learned these past few years. As a teacher, I was expected to know my content inside and out and to be the expert in the room. But even then, I knew that I'd never be able to know everything. I used to tell my students I was just the head learner. In this role supporting nursing students, I'm a learner. I will never be an expert. When I read a question or a next-gen style case, I don't have years in the field to draw upon. I don't have the background knowledge or the content expertise. I used to think that was a deficit. Now I realize it's a strength and maybe even a superpower. Because when you're so familiar with something, it's easy to plunge in and make assumptions. After all, you've seen it before. You've had patients like this. You know the manifestations. But sometimes not knowing is a blessing. You might be more able to think critically based only on the information that's provided. Don't get me wrong, knowledge is important, but so is listening, so is taking a step back, and so is learning. As I close tonight, I want to take a moment to personally thank you for choosing to become nurses. In so many ways, you're entering a system that is broken. You may not be able to fix or even change the system, but you will be able to make a difference. Advocate for your patients and for yourselves. Be the kind of nurse you would want to work with and the kind of nurse you would trust your loved ones with. Be a role model and be willing to teach those who will come after you. Try to remember what it was like before you were the veteran nurse. Stay humble, stay curious, never be afraid to ask for help or to say, I don't know. And no matter what, believe in yourselves and each other. You've got this. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for inviting me to be a part of your special night. You are an incredible group of humans who will be incredible nurses. Tonight is just the beginning. Congratulations and Godspeed. Thank you. This next part is not listed in your programs. It is one of tonight's special moments. I now have the pleasure of introducing Professor Carolyn Parker for the presentations of student awards.
Here you go, lady. I'm so nervous. All right, guys. So remember those lectures in class that I said your sympathetic nervous system causes you to shake a little bit and you forget your things, and you're supposed to have your parasympathetic come into play? Well, you get to watch me where my sympathetic nervous system is a little bit stimulated right now. I don't like talking in front of this many people. Anyway, I have 3 awards I'm really excited to give, although I wish I could give every one of you one. You guys are amazing. But the first award I have is the Division GPA Award. This award is presented to the graduating nurse with the highest cumulative grade point average in the nursing program. This honor recognizes outstanding academic achievement, perseverance, and a commitment to excellence throughout the nursing education. I'm going to expand a little bit. This person is a natural leader. I remember having her in my health assessment 2 class, and she always asked questions. She always helped her peers, and she was never afraid to try. I think we all know who this individual is, but regardless, it is Lakshmi Katapolini. All right, this next one, the Lilac and Lantern Award. This was another tough one, guys. There's a few of you in here that could have probably gotten it. So this award is chosen by the nursing faculty and staff. Like I said, it wasn't an easy decision. This graduating senior nursing student is one who exemplifies excellence in a clinical practice, care, compassion, and leadership. The purple lilac is designated by the official state flower of New Hampshire in 1919. It was selected as its symbol due to its hardy character of the Granite State people. This enduring bloom represents the strength, resilience, and quiet dignity essential to nursing. The lantern, a symbol of timeliness, or timeliness symbol, my apology, of Florence Nightingale. It honors the nurse's role as a beacon of light, guidance, and healing in a time of darkness. There are award criteria. This person demonstrates clinical excellence, as I mentioned, sound judgment, consistent empathy, and patient advocacy. This is a strong leader who supports her peers and has a deep commitment to professional growth. Again, I'm going to go off track a little bit. This person was a little bit shy and reserved at first. She was quiet. She had a lot of attention to detail. She didn't always have a voice in the very beginning, but she came into her own. And it amazes me that for her capstone, she was in the intensive care unit. I think with that information, you probably know who this individual is, but I'm happy to welcome Annabelle Cody up to the platform. And the last one, it was all about you guys. Who did you think really was your leader, your support, and who you could lean on? This is the Legacy Award. The Legacy Award honors a graduating nursing student whose grit, courage, resolve, and unwavering perseverance has inspired their peers, and more importantly, left a lasting mark on the nursing program. This award, chosen by fellow students, recognizes the classmate who faced challenges head-on, never gave up, and most importantly as well, lifted others through determination and strength. In the face of long hours, clinical trials, and personal obstacles, they showed what it truly meant to rise, persist, and lead by example. So for that criteria, you already know it, but I'm going to say it again. They demonstrated exceptional grit and resilience, inspired peers, maintained positivity, motivation, and left a legacy. And with tradition of the other two, I'm going to go on. This person, gosh, is a role model. And I think a lot of you relied on this person. Might have been for work. Might have been because you had a few tears. She was a bit like a mom sometimes. And she led our Student Nurses Association to really thrive. She got us some great apparel. I think some of you guys might have that. And overarchingly, she was also a peer tutor. She helped a lot of you rise to the occasion, whether it was through academics or just, like I said, personal support. Again, we probably know who this person is. I'm going to welcome her up, Ryan Hornblower. And so now I am going to welcome Lakshmi to come up as our student speaker.
Hi everyone, how are you doing today? I am nervous. Yeah. It's truly an honor to stand here on this special occasion. I want to begin by congratulating the class of 2026. We did it! This moment is the culmination of our hard work, dedication, and sacrifices over the last 3 years. Many of us entered this program while balancing families, careers, and responsibilities outside the classroom. This program and its faculty did not just accept us, they embraced us. They created opportunities for students from diverse backgrounds to pursue their dreams of becoming nurses. Dreams that may not have been possible otherwise. For some of us, this dream began much earlier. I have personally been dreaming about this moment since before some of you are even born. One of the unique aspects of our program was the requirement to work as LNAs, also while training as student nurses. It was challenging to balance work and school, but it gave us something incredibly valuable, real patient interaction. It gave us confidence and allowed us to learn the true meaning of patient-centered care long before graduation. By the end of our third co-op, many of us were caring for 4 patients independently, something students from many other programs only imagine doing. As we reflect on our journey, it's impossible not to think about the many challenges we faced along the way. Early morning clinicals, staying after shifts to finish our charting, late night studying, assignments, exams, just to name a few. Through it all, we learned how to prioritize, adapt, and persevere. But more importantly, through those challenges, we discovered something powerful, what it truly means to be caregivers. I learned that it does not always take grand gestures to make a difference in our patients' lives. Sometimes it's the little things. Remember how a patient wants to have their coffee, adjusting their pillows just the way they like, or bringing them a warm blanket when they are cold. These simple acts can bring comfort and dignity to those who need it most. One of the moments I'll never forget is when a patient told me that he could sleep peacefully at night because he knew I was working that night. That moment reminded me that nursing is not just about skills and knowledge. It is about presence, compassion, and trust. Moments like these reflect not just who we are becoming, but the people who helped us get there. To our faculty, Trish, Laurie, and Caroline, thank you. Thank you for your patience, your dedication to excellence, and your belief in us, even when we doubted ourselves. You pushed us to reach our full potential. You taught us not only how to care for patients, but how to care for them with dignity, empathy, and professionalism. You challenged us to think critically and to grow stronger with every experience. Because of your guidance, we move forward ready not only to practice nursing, but to do so with confidence and compassion. To our clinical instructors and preceptors, thank you. Thank you for trusting us with real responsibilities and giving us the opportunity to grow. Through your guidance, we learn how to stay calm under pressure, advocate for our patients, and function as part of a team. To our tutors, thank you. Thank you for spending countless hours with us, helping us prepare notes, understand complex concepts, and guiding us through APA, med math, and everything else along the way. Terry, you went above and beyond by sitting in our class to better understand the material so you could support us more effectively. Your time, patience, and willingness to support us never went unnoticed. Finally, Christy, thank you. Thank you for being there every step of the way. Your willingness to answer every question, no matter how small or repetitive, never went unnoticed. You made this experience more manageable and far less overwhelming, and we are truly grateful. Last but not least, to our families and friends, thank you. Thank you for supporting us through sleepless nights, stressful exams, and countless hours of studying. Thank you for stepping in to take our responsibilities at home so we could focus on our education. Your sacrifices made this day possible, and we could not have done this without you. Our journeys does not end here. It begins here. As nurses, we'll face challenges, but we also experience moments of profound meaning. Moments when a life is saved, moments when comfort is given during loss, or moments when a simple word of kindness changes someone's day. There will be long shifts, difficult decisions, and times when we question ourselves. But there will also be moments that remind us exactly why we chose this profession. A patient smile, a quiet thank you, or the trust placed in our hands. As we receive our pins today, let us wear them with pride, but also with humility. Let them remind us of our responsibility to provide safe, compassionate, and patient-centered care to every person we serve. Thank you.
You guys ready for your pins? Melissa Arnatovich. Fatima Elzabetti. Janari Arroyo Ozores. Grace Bannon. Diana Constance Bolak. Autumn Blasdell. Sarah Blum. Hope Bronkema. Ariel Jail Chapman. Annabelle Cody. Abigail Curlis. Amy Dallaker. Heather Day Lewis. Diane Marie Demmer. Mariah Denise. Amy Donnelly. Alyssa Dunbar Molina. Christina Ellis. Miles Gainey. Madeline Habishian. Ryan Hornblower. Ariana Hudson. Michelle Hunter. Jenna Jakes. Lakshmi Kadapalli. Brianna Krasinski. Carmen T. Leduc Boussiere. Laura Lingley. Caitlin Marie Long. Kiara Brooke Mason. Cheryl Monroe. Taylor Nicklin. Junia Ogunshuyi. Evan Omanson. Annika Preby. Mandy Robichaud. Perry Spearman. Berlin Kennedy Stevens. Justin Sullivan. Kara Sullivan. Audrey Jane Swergos. Vung Tomte. Elizabeth Vicknair. Megan Zedon. Graduates, please stand for one round of applause. Yeah, keep clapping. Okay, you guys can sit. So as you know, there are moments in life that define us, and today for you is one of those moments. It's not just about reaching the finish line, but about recognizing the journey it took to get here and the future that now lays ahead. Your perseverance did not go unnoticed. Well, I had the opportunity to teach several of you freshman year, way back when. I have recently had the opportunity to get to know all of you over this last semester. You guys have been a pleasure to teach. I've learned a lot from you, and I've heard a lot from you about your experiences. Some of the words that I heard in the beginning were words like scared, struggling, anxious, overwhelmed, stressed out, to name a few, challenged, right? But we also, towards the end of the semester, I heard words like confident, prepared, accomplished, succeeding, successful. These are all signs that you're ready to be a nurse. You've also shared stories. Some of you spoke about recognizing fluid overload in a patient. One of you took that further and stopped the IV fluids before even discussing it with your preceptor because you knew it was what was needed to be done. One of you described signs of postpartum hemorrhage and providing emotional support to that mother while you watched the team go to work to help save her. Another one of you talked about demonstrating the ability to assess an infant in distress, recognizing the use of accessory muscles and what that might mean for that infant. You also shared difficult and profound moments, like a young adult in the ICU who was clinging to life after attempting, he's getting emotional, to commit suicide. A daughter faced with making an unimaginable decision regarding the life and death of her mother. You recognize the cues when assessing an infant showing signs of withdrawal due to maternal substance abuse. Your reflections on these experiences speak volumes. They show that you're ready, that you're prepared, and you're confident to be a nurse. You should be incredibly proud of what you have accomplished. The resilience you've demonstrated when studying felt impossible, when mastering acid-base balance, as Terry spoke of, seemed out of reach, and when long clinical days in completing your LNA hours felt endless. And now here you are, no more proctorio, no more waiting for exam scores to come out, no more juggling impossible schedules, managing children at home, college life, and yes, no more red scrub tops identifying you as a student. That was kind of funny because when the poll went out about what attire to wear, I think 2 people said scrubs, the NEC scrubs. So as you move forward, take time to reflect. You've heard a lot of stories tonight. We heard a lot from Terry. I think she forgot to mention her NCLEX review session, when that was going to be. But think to yourselves as you move forward, what will your nursing career look like? What kind of nursing care do you want to provide? Many of you have the luxury of knowing that already. How many of you don't know where you want to be in 10 years or in 5 years? Right? What role will you play on the healthcare team? But most importantly, what kind of a nurse do you want to be when you go out and practice? So hold these answers close. Let them guide you, especially on the days that challenge you, because you will definitely have days that challenge you, as you've already experienced. I think I speak for all of us when I say that we wish you nothing but success and fulfillment as you begin this next chapter. And perhaps before long, you'll find yourselves as preceptors for other NEC nursing students following in your footsteps. We are so proud of each and every one of you. In fact, I think you should all stand again to provide another round of applause. Lastly, and finally, your success in clinical is a direct reflection of the diligent and tireless work of Christy Jadlocki. She's been instrumental in supporting your growth and ensuring your success. And we are deeply grateful for her contributions. I want to invite her to come to the stage and lead you in reciting the NEC Nursing Pledge. Right there, very good.
Good evening, graduates. I'm going to invite you to stand. I know, if you have your brochure, we're all, and what? Oh, and I apologize. Any nurses in the room as we stand together and recite the nursing pledge. So please recite with me. I solemnly pledge myself in the presence of this assembly to pass my life in purity and to practice my profession faithfully. I will abstain from whatever is deleterious and mischievous and will not take or knowingly administer any harmful drug. I will do all in my power to maintain and elevate the standard of my profession and will hold in confidence all personal matters committed to my keeping and all family affairs coming to my knowledge in the practice of my calling. With loyalty, I will endeavor to aid the physician in their work and devote myself to the welfare of those committed to my care. And you can be seated. And I'd like to invite Dr. Trish Fanjoy to give the closing remarks.
All right. So I'm between you and your family and your celebrations, so I'll keep it short and I'll keep it sweet. I legit had like this beautiful speech, and I'm like, nah, everybody said everything, so that's good. I think we're good. I'm just going to say a couple of things. One, the pin you wear is about generations of nursing. This is my pin. I've had this pin for 25 years. This is the most important symbol of my profession. And now you're part of my profession. Okay, there's no need to clap. Nursing is an honor. You get to see humans come into this world. You get the honor of caring for them on their very worst day, some on their very best day. And you help them into another part of life, and you see them at their very end. That's an honor, and it's a privilege. And I've told you this before. Nursing is a state of being. You don't get to be anybody now other than a nurse. When you walk out these doors, you are a nurse today, tomorrow, on Facebook, on Twitter, at the grocery store, at the soccer game, all of those places in life. You are a nurse and you represent our field. If you're a nurse now
If you have your nursing license, please stand. Yeah. These are your people. We are a tribe, and we are fierce. We also advocate for other humans at their worst and most vulnerable time. So take that very seriously. So I will tell you one last thing before we go. Wait for your green light. Okay? Right? When you have bad days, you get 24 hours. Whatever you want to do. Be sad, sulk, whatever. And then pull up your socks and get back to work. Congratulations, class of 2026.